Apple will take on Hollywood, and it is reportedly investing $1 billion to make sure it's a real competitor in the crowded market for original content. Julia Boorstin has more.
Apple has set a budget of about $1 billion to produce and license original content over the next year, according to the Wall Street Journal, expected to include those shows in a new video-focused offering that would launch in addition to Apple's $10 a month subscription app, Apple Music.
The $1 billion number is a significant number, but in the grand scheme of Apple, it's pretty modest. Apple has $225 billion in revenue. They'll spend about $12 billion in R&D next year. And so this is a relatively small number for Apple, given its huge size.
So far, Apple's investment in original content has been limited and tied to Apple's core focus on music and apps, such as Carpool Karaoke and Planet of the Apps. That makes this push into the kind of scripted content like Game of Thrones that you'd find on HBO and Netflix a big departure. Apple declines to comment, but it has hired some big-name Hollywood veterans here in Los Angeles, including Sony TV chiefs Jamie Ehrlich and Zach Van Amberg to run its video efforts, also tapping the former head of WGN America and Tribune Studios to head its development for original content. If Apple invests $1 billion in content, that's still just about half what Time Warner's HBO spends annually, and about as much as Amazon spent in 2013, its first year investing in originals. Now Amazon reportedly spends about $4.5 billion, and Netflix will spend $6 billion this year.
This position of sort of starting later in the game is not unusual for Apple. Now, whether they will be ultimately successful or not remains to be seen. I mean, they certainly have the war chest to win. I mean, they have more cash than anyone else, and they generate more cash flow than anyone else.
Apple will not want to jeopardize its relationships with HBO and Netflix. Apple earns 30% of subscriptions obtained through the App Store for the first year, after which its take is 15%. One advantage Apple has as it becomes a frenemy to those media companies, Apple could immediately launch its exclusive content globally through the App Store's reach to 155 countries. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Julia Boorstin in Los Angeles.